I just want to make quite clear to everybody in this room, and there's some 400 of you here, members, that the SACA board's position is that if the Stadium Management Authority proposition, which envisages AFL football coming to Adelaide Oval, does not go ahead, the SACA debt, and the board's position is that the SACA debt will be able to be handled and serviced by the income that SACA will earn. Our 25-year budgets and have shown for some time that this is the case, and the debt will be fully serviced and should be repaid in 2034. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that, because there have been some other things written about the place. If the SMA does go ahead, the SACA will not owe any money to speak of at all. Now, the reason for this is, most of you know, but the reason for this is if football comes to the Adelaide Oval with a half share in the ownership of this facility, they won't be putting any money in, and we have no problem with that. And then, after what I've just explained to you, we will be in exactly the same position. So I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that. In regard to the new, I think, pretty wonderful grandstand, you'll be hearing a great deal of information shortly. With this roof dia grid structure, it's called, and the upper seating bowl beginning to take some shape, you can get a real feel of the stand size and some of the amazing views that you're going to enjoy looking east and west, apart from what's happening on the ground. It's located just behind us, and in the display area as well. You can see some heads up of this, though we've got a collection of sample boards there, which you've seen, tiles, furnishing, some seats. If they're uncomfortable, we can't change them, bad luck. And they are the fittings that will be used, or very close to the fittings that will be used in the stand. I believe there are also some samples of the bucket seats, so that, as I just said, they're there. We are aiming that work will be finished at the end of October. That's the deadline. And our current thinking is that the tour match, i.e. Redbacks versus England, scheduled for November the 11th, will mark the stand's first use. We'll run the engine, if you like. And we might have some innovative ways of getting quite a lot of people through this stand on that day, just to make sure that the beer comes up the pipes at the right speed. I'd just like to make one point, I don't think it's been made publicly before, but we've preserved the arches, we've preserved as much as we could of the Giffen stand in the centre, those bits that didn't fall down a touch or were safe. We preserved those. Some of you will know we took lintels out with 30 yards long and 5 feet deep and put them back again. It's called conservation. We preserved some of the stuff that was there. And we did have an analysis done as to the cost of all that. In other words, the cost of leaving the arches, which is great, in place and having to build around all those structures, and also the cost of the conservation on the Giffen stand. And the figure was, we got it done by the architects, engineers and the builders, and the figures was an extra cost to the SACA of between $15 and $17 million. So it's just worth knowing that we have spent a lot of time and effort to try and keep the best of the heritage and the beauty of this place. With that in mind, I'd like to introduce Mariano Dudwani from Hassels. He is the managing partner in South Australia of Hassels, who with Cox's of Melbourne have been the architects, but Mariano represents the senior architects in this venture, who've been the architects in building this process. So Mariano, if you'd be kind enough to come up here and give us a run through.
Thank you, Ian, and good evening to you all. I'm the managing principal of Hassel in Adelaide, and I'm representing the architects, or the architectural team of Hassel Cox for the Western Grandstand. The main purpose of my 9-minute delivery here is to give you a progress or update of the stand itself, and you would have seen the stand from various vantage points from the outside, and I guess tonight we're trying to present a series of images from the inside and what you will expect to see when you visit the stand in November. The construction works for the stand are well advanced. They're progressing well. There is a hive of activity both on-site and off-site. Most people will see the work on-site, but there's a terrific amount of energy and input being displayed through trade contractors, steelworkers, precasters off-site, which is a mammoth activity that's happening. Just to recap a little bit about the stands, a few things that we should remember. It's a 14,000 seat stand, replacing the 8,000 or so stand previously. 80% of the seats are under cover. 100% of the seats will be under shade past lunchtime during the event, particularly cricket. The new stand boasts 4 bars, 2 at ground, 1 terrace level bar at level 1 facing the western lawns with a magnificent aspect. The members bar at level 1 boasts a 45-metre length of window which is unobstructed and gives you a vantage point not surpassed by many grounds around the world. And a key feature of the ground also is, everyone remember the flat western boundary, which we've now ovalised, and it truly makes the oval an oval. Those deep pockets that everyone remembers footballers kicking check sides in are no longer there. Work now is progressing well. Whilst it's been hard getting out of the ground, and certainly in the fabrication shops, we're now into the assembly phase of the ground and of the grandstand, and you'll soon see a quick and rapid erection of material and also fit out within the stand itself. The next few slides that I'm about to show is just a series of renders of some of the facilities that are in the ground, and then followed by its progression. So I won't take too much time, I'll just whiz through this, but suffice to say that we're progressing from the southern end of the ground to the northern end of the ground in phased work and overlapping the activities as we speak. This image here that you're seeing is the kiosk, members kiosk bars down at the ground level for the concessions. And the same angle, this is the progress that's been made to date. Again, you can see all the finishes being put in. We are putting the joinery and the floor finishes and the ceiling finishes in there. Most of the services have been installed. I'm not getting... This is a render of the members bar looking from south to north. This is how it would appear in its finished state, without people, of course. And this is the same view as it stands today, and it's progressed a little bit further in the last 2 weeks as well. So here you can see the 45-metre long uninterrupted window onto the ground as well.